All right, thank you guys for being here. Obviously, it's always good to do these after a win, and got to do it now 3 out of 4 games. So winning 3 out of 4 games, we're kind of getting on a roll, especially in a rhythm offensively. Last week playing SNU, which, they're not the best of teams right now, and they've got a brand new coach, and they're trying to figure their way out. But I was real worried after beating Oklahoma Baptist the way we did. Our guys coming in and kind of letting down and maybe overlooking SNU, because we have never lost to SNU, and I hate that. I hate saying that, but that's the fact. And you always worry about your kids, whether they're going to overlook a team that they think they should beat or not. And we're nowhere near our program where we should think we could beat anybody, just by rolling our helmets out there. But our kids did a great job. Great effort, and I knew that they were going to be looking for this week's game, Arkansas Tech, which is a very, very big game in this program's development. But, I was worried about them doing that and not coming out with effort, because SNU beat Monticello 31-17. They took care of Monticello. They dominated the game. Monticello came out. They didn't play hard. They didn't play with effort. They didn't execute. And I just wanted our team to avoid that pitfall. And they definitely did. We came out, obviously, first series offensively wasn't great. We fumbled a mesh between the running back and quarterback. Our defense held them to 3 points. Then it was kind of on from there. We had offensive drives. We had terrible field position the whole game, and that was because of penalties mostly on special teams, which I was very disappointed in. But offensively, we went on drives of 66, 74, 95, 96, and 78 all in a row. 6 touchdowns in a row on 6 possessions. We scored We scored on 6 of our 11 possessions in the game. So very, very happy with how we performed offensively. Then defensively, after they settled down a little bit, they gave up some yards. We gave up some yards early, and then some yards kind of later in that first half, and then the second half just completely shut them down. So very, very happy with how they played and how our defensive kids responded to some early adversity and didn't let that bother them at all. So they're growing and learning, and you can tell week by week. The competition will be a little bit more ramped up this week going against Arkansas Tech. But to finish out on SNU, I told our guys, I was impressed with how they played, but they need to learn how to act when they're winning. This group of kids has never won more than 4 games. Never won 4 games in a college season. They've never won back-to-back games, in the last 4 years here. So these are all – what's funny is we're 4-4, but it's uncharted territory for these kids, this group of kids, to actually be carrying and playing for something. Playing for a winning record, playing for a possible 7-4 and top 4, 3 or 4 in the conference. If when it's all said and done, they're still all playing for that. And this group has never had that before. And so they need to learn how to handle some success and handle winning. Like I said, we've won 3 out of 4, so they're starting to get that feeling and understand what it's about. And it's all a growing process still for these guys. But like I said, I was real proud of their effort and how hard that they played. Statistically moving forward, I'm sure y'all saw, or I don't know who all reads the Enid News, but they did an article about Riley Hess and Reed Miller in the Enid News that came out today, maybe. Riley has 8 touchdowns on the year, and I sat him out for 2 games, so that's only in 6 games. Has 8 touchdowns receiving. And Reed has 31 on the year, broke his own school record from last year with 3 games left. He's 1 touchdown away from having the school's all-time touchdowns responsible for record. Just needs 1 more. So all those things, are positives for our team, and things that they haven't had success with before. They're starting to understand how that feels, and it's even though Reed's breaking those records, it's still a team thing, and our guys are very, very much proud of that. Not just him. So those are big things for us. Defensively, Maurice Wright had another monster game. I said this in quarterback club 2 weeks ago when he couldn't play against Southeastern. The kid is the heart and soul of our defense, and he's just a freshman, true freshman. And he's unbelievable watch 24. When y'all were watching the game, watch 24 play. You're seeing something you haven't seen in a long time, since number 19 was out there playing a long time ago. This kid is something else. Very special, and at this level, you don't get to see a guy like this very often. I'm telling you. So really cherish this kid. I mean, he's something different. So as good as Joby is, our All-American, as good as Joby is, this kid Maurice is something else. I think he had another 17 tackles or something like that. Another forced fumble. Maybe recovered one too. Just the kid's off the charts as far as his effort and how hard he plays the game and with the tenacity he plays the game with. So he had another monster game. Then Joby did have a monster game too. He had 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. He also had, I think he had 4 total tackles. So had a great game as well. Really happy with how our team has continued to get better throughout the season, and we've had some pitfalls and some downtimes, especially defensively. But like I said, they're continuing to get better, and we continue to work on things that we need to work on. And me and Coach Sweatfield were just talking about, hey, how much is the lack of defense these days attributed to how good the offenses are? And I do think the rules make the offenses much better now. The rules are geared towards offense. But if you watch the OU Texas Tech game, which a lot of you are OU fans, there was no defense in the game whatsoever. And a lot of it is due to the rules, but another part is a lot of the guys are negating the fundamentals of the game, and we've gone back to fundamentals defensively. After the Southeastern game, we missed 40-something tackles on defense. We spent 30 minutes of practice. Now, we only practice for an hour and 50 minutes. 30 minutes is devoted to tackling. In college, that's unheard of. No one does that, all right? No one does that because by the time you get to college, we expect you to know how to tackle, all right? And they're not getting taught how to tackle. So, and that goes from Pee Wee all the way up. And that's something that I'm noticing that's a disturbing trend with our young players is that they come in not knowing, have a clue how to tackle. And so we're getting back to that stuff, and what's funny is our guys have improved tackling in the last 2 weeks tremendously, 100-fold. And so us doing that and making some of those adjustments have made us, play faster and play a little bit better defensively, and improving on that side of the ball is going to go a long way. And we do have some guys. We've redshirted 3 or 4 guys that would be playing right now. We're just not going to burn the red shirts, or they were a partial qualifier, so we're not allowed to play those guys. But we do have some guys that would be helping us on defense currently that we cannot play right now. So other than that, we're kind of in a good rhythm offensively, and our team's really firing on all cylinders when it comes to that. So proud of our guys. Like I said, this week we have Arkansas Tech in Russellville. We'll be leaving early Friday morning. We'll stay in Little Rock. At this point in year 2, being 4-4, they're 4-4 right now. They were 8-3 last year. This is a big game for us, and this is the first time we've been put in a situation where it's a playoff type atmosphere for our team. We have no chance of making playoffs. A huge difference in college football is in Division II college football. Only our champion is going to make the playoffs. All right, only our champions will make the playoffs. Nobody else makes playoffs. All right, so and our leader right now is 8-0 in Harding. Henderson is 6-2. They're in second place. All right, Henderson, if they win out, they won't make the playoffs. They'll be 9-2 and they'll play in a bowl game. They will not make the playoffs. So that's the difference. Out of 48 teams in our region, they take 7 to the playoffs total out of 48 teams. So our guys are playing for. That's why I'm treating this and having them have the feeling of treating this like a playoff game. This is the first time that they've felt that, and they've at the 8th game or 9th game of the year have they in the last 2 years been able to and actually since 2010 have they been able to feel all right that we're playing for something this late in the season. With that last win, I talk about our guys. I talk to them about milestones all the time. And last week I told them, I was like, hey, you win this game at home, one of our milestones is have a winning record at home. We guarantee ourselves a winning record at Ranger Field. And they took care of business. We're 3-1 at Ranger Field and guarantee ourselves a winning record there. So this milestone this week is, hey, let's get above the 500 mark and let's win 3 games in a row. And hopefully our guys will understand the magnitude of that. And not, I don't want them to press, but I also want them to understand they got a lot to play for. Whereas before they never felt that way this late in the season. Not this group of kids. Because none of those guys were around in 2010, obviously. So that's a great thing, and it's fun to see our guys understand and know that this is a process taking place, and our older guys really cherishing the role of program builders instead of, hey, we know the fruits of our labor are not going to show until 2, 3, 4 years down the road. And I'll use Reed as a prime example. He knows he's not. He's never going to make the playoffs. But he has really, really pushed this program forward, both on the local scale and the national scale. He's number 3 in the country in touchdowns. He's number 5 in passing. Stuff like that. So our notoriety is getting up and up and up, and that's what these seniors are doing. And they understand that, and they're understanding the process of the culture that we're trying to build. And couldn't be more proud of those guys, those seniors, that as they wind down their career, it's too easy for guys. Hey, we're 4-4, we're not going to make the playoffs, or we're not going to play in that one bowl game that we get. So there would be a real outside chance of us doing that. We actually could play in that bowl game if everybody lost out and we won out. But for them to do that and not, hey, say this is my senior year, I got nothing to play for, so I'm going to pack it in, make sure I don't get hurt, and finish out the semester, that could easily do that. And I saw some of that last year with some of those seniors last year. But I'm not seeing that from these guys because they, again, for the first time, are playing for something. And, like I said, real proud of them, and it's exciting, and many of you have called me or come by my office or talked to me about how exciting it is to watch the games now, especially from a point scoring point of view. But that's greatly appreciated, and to be recognized for what we are doing and the work we're doing is very much appreciated. So anyway, anybody got any questions about anything, injuries, anything? We're good on that front, really. So
Paperhead's still 1-4.
Oh yeah. I should say something about him. He's funny, man. He third game in a row over 100 yards. Again, he's just a freshman. He's got right at I think he's right at 600 yards rushing, and really about 5 games because the first 3 games he wasn't getting much playing time. So I'm very proud of the kid. And if you know, he had 1 rushing touchdown this game, and it was probably our worst executed play of the game. Nobody was blocked. He broke like 3 tackles. Made 2 dudes miss and scores. And it's funny, he comes over to his running back coach. He said, yeah, man, if I don't score the one time I get the ball inside the 20, then Coach Waller's going to throw it. So better score. So I thought it was funny and somewhat accurate, I guess. But at the same time, he's performing well, doing a great job, and I'm just excited that he's going to be back for another 3 years and continue to get better and better is all he's going to do because he is a very good player, tough player as well. He's only 170 pounds, but he runs like he's 200, 210.
His brother got on defense, and he got the brother on defense.
Yep, the brother is a junior. He's going to be shut down. He had a broken hand, got that cast off, and now he's on crutches and with a pretty severe ankle. So he'll be shut down for the year probably. So other than that, we didn't play. If y'all noticed, we didn't play Horatio Smith in the game. Precautionary. Didn't play Jordan Norris in the game. He had a little tweak ankle. We wanted to keep him out, keep him ready for this game. So both those two are very impact players that didn't even play in the game. Horatio was a slight sprain. He could have gone back in against Oklahoma Baptist. Hit a slight sprain, but if you notice, his backup scored, I think, 4 touchdowns the last 3 games. So his backup's quite capable. So we thought, holding Horatio out and letting him rest a little bit and making sure he didn't get re-injured or aggravated was a good thing for us to do, and we did that. So Deshaun Gordon came in and replaced him very, very well. So real proud of how he's played as a backup, coming off the bench and coming in and producing. So, what's funny is this year we've had a ton of injuries, and what's the silver lining in that is that we found other players that can play that we didn't think would play at the level they're playing. And Peyton's a perfect example. We knew Peyton was going to be good, or I wouldn't have recruited him. That's one of my recruits. But didn't think he was going to be this good this quick. And Coda getting injured and Jalen battling some injuries himself thrust Jacob into that starting role, and he's embraced it and done a great job. And that's what a lot of times you got to see. You got to see him in live action under fire and see how they respond. And he's done a great job. And if you notice our tight ends, man, we went from Riley, then Riley got hurt, then Yates got hurt, then Raphael got hurt, put Riley back in, and all 4 of those guys have been really, really good, and will continue to be or all 3 of those guys, will continue to be really good. And I got another one that might be the best tight end that we have on the roster that started this year. So it's very talented, and it'll allow me to move Riley back to receiver, which is where he probably belongs. So that will be very beneficial to our program moving forward in the next season. And then, of course, we get the Yates kid back, and he's going to get this year back because he only played in 2 games and 1 play. And then we're going to get Anthony Coda back. He'll have 2 more years, so another running back. We do graduate starting right tackle Scott Batchelor. He's the only O-lineman that starts that graduates. Graduate Reed Miller, of course. These are all things I can talk about at the end of the year one, but like I said, real proud of the guys that have stepped in for injuries. Hey, and I'll tell you, I do got to give a shout out to Kyler Ferguson from Woodward. All right, he got his first start in the game, kind of replaced Devin Payton when he got hurt as well, and we put somebody else in. But Kyler did a great job in this game. And he very smart player. And we always talk about as coaches, smart players get better. So he's gotten better every week and really embraced his role. And it showed finally in Game 8 where we put him in, did a great job. So did want to give a shout out to Kyler. Kyler was very impressive during the game. So any other questions? All right, thank you guys.